Home is where connections are made, memories are formed, and ideas are born. And no one knows home better than NFM. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Home, the podcast that goes deeper than trends and dives into what it means to make your house a home.
Hello, and welcome to I Am Home, the Home Life Best Life podcast. I'm Tyler Wisecup. Unfortunately, we don't have Hillary with us today, but I am joined by my co-host who, if podcasting had a Heisman, this one would already be polishing the trophy. It's Becca Sudbeck.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Becca. And today, I'm really excited. We're joined by someone who brings grit, leadership, and loyalty to the field. It's Brock Hoffman, an offensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys. And again, Brock, so excited to be chatting with you this morning. I've got kind of a little quick introduction for you. You went undrafted, but now you're really an undeniable force for the Cowboys. You've carved out a role as a dependable player on one of the league's most watched teams. And off the field, you're just as focused on building a home that you can be proud of as well. So today we're going to be talking to Brock about your life in the trenches, adapting to change on a high-profile team, and creating a home base that's as strong as your game. But first, let me tell you why we're even doing this podcast, and that's because NFM is more than just your everything home store. We're in the business of improving lifestyles because your home life should be your best life, and you can learn more at nfm.com. So let's officially welcome Brock on. Hi, Brock.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on here. I'm excited for it.
Oh, great. I am so excited to talk with you. And I wondered if one of the best places for us to start is this video you recently posted that's, I think, going a little viral, where you're showing off some of your off-season training regimen. You're boxing basically at midnight. So can you talk to us about what's going on? Is this like a new bedtime routine for you, or what is the boxing and how is that incorporated into the training that you're doing in the off-season?
Yeah, no, that was really more of a one-time thing. I was just like, usually I'll work out, football wise, like lifting, running, position work in the mornings. But Abby, my fiance, was with my boxing coach's wife, and then they were doing something, and then she came back to the house, and I just had like a bunch of energy. I'm like, I'm about to call up George. I need to go like let it out. I need to go box or do something. So that was really just a one-time thing, but I love boxing in the off season just because I feel like it translates to O-line play in terms of like working on your hand speed, obviously like the conditioning aspect of it. But the part that I love about it is like, it kind of challenges me. It's something different that I'm not usually used to. I mean, I've been doing it for 3 years now, but it's just that thing that like pushes you to like the brink kind of, it's just like you get really, really tired and you still got to push it out of you.
Yeah. Once your arms start getting tired, it's very, very easy to just kind of like let them fall down by the wayside. So how far have you taken it? Just, is it training, or is it like, have you gotten in the ring?
I've sparred one person secretly. It was
not in the ring.
No, it was in the ring. It was in the ring. It was it was a controlled controlled sparring session. It was fun though. It was another NFL guy, but I'm not gonna say any names. But it was a good time for sure.
Gotcha.
A teammate?
No, not a teammate.
Okay, good.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't want to hurt any relationships with my teammates that way.
Fair. Yeah.
Well, speaking of teammates, I know you've got some new guys coming into to the team like every year, draft picks. You've got a new head coach. This offseason, has it kind of taken on more urgency for yourself, or are you like just always in this prove it mode? I'm curious, again, just with all the changes that are happening right now.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it kind of goes all the way back to when I was in high school, kind of being under recruited, went to Coastal Carolina, and then eventually transferred to Virginia Tech. And just kind of the mindset my dad's always instilled in me to always have that like chip on your shoulder. And then obviously I went undrafted, and I've always just kind of been in that prove it mindset, chip on my shoulder. Like no matter what the external factors are, like I'm just really competing with myself and just trying to take it each and every day and figure out what I can do to get better. And yeah, like I feel like obviously with the new head coach, picks coming in, just different things like that. Yeah, those are definitely factors, but it's never been my main source of like my why. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let's unpack that. Again, is it just this, proving yourself just because you aren't as celebrated when maybe you should be? Is that kind of where it's coming from?
Yeah, I would say it comes from a lot of different things. Obviously, like my family is a big reason why I do it. Just all the sacrifices they've made. My fiance, she's made a ton of sacrifices since she came into my life 6 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
But it's really just like a pure love for the game. Like my dad was a college coach when I was growing up, got out of it
Mm.
when I got a little bit older, but it's just been a pure love of the game. And like, I don't know, in my opinion, there's nothing better to do than just wake up and push yourself and play football each and every day.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's
A
awesome.
great mindset.
So, speaking of, you weren't drafted, you've bounced around a few squads, and now you've carved out this role in Dallas. When did it first hit you that like you belong here, especially in this league?
Yeah, it was tough. When I was in Cleveland, obviously undrafted at the end of camp, they cut me and put me on practice squad. And then I believe it was week 10. I know it was towards the end of October, but they cut me off the practice squad. And that was like one of my biggest lows in my football career because I just like hadn't had much tape besides preseason film. And I didn't really know like where I was going to go from there. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm super thankful that like a week later, the Cowboys flew me out for a workout and then signed me to their practice squad. And then 2 weeks later, I believe it was, that was when it really hit me, was when they elevated me to the 53. So like once I made the active roster, then it was just like, you know what? Like it really does just take one team. My agent used to always tell me that, like, maybe it isn't Cleveland, but that doesn't mean there's other teams out there that don't like you.
Hmm.
And then when that kind of happened, it like really like hit home for me.
Absolutely. What a whirlwind, because that's just a
Yeah.
few weeks.
Yeah, that's a
it
short
feels
time
like.
frame for all
Yeah.
that to happen.
Yeah.
A lot to process.
Can you talk us through, like, again, you were like so low, and then like going to the quote unquote heights now of like feeling that like now I belong here. I found some place where people appreciate me.
Yeah, it was definitely just like it was obviously like the football side of it was tough, but really like the moving side of it. Like it was kind of the drive home from Cleveland to I drove back home to North Carolina like 3 days after I was cut was just like I remember just listening to sad music the whole way home. Like I
Oh
don't know
no.
I don't know what's gonna happen. And then obviously like three weeks later I get elevated to the active. It's just like I don't know. I feel like I've always gone through adversity in my career, and I just know like I end up coming out on the other side of it. And it's just really comes down to faith. God has a
Hmm.
plan for me, and obviously I put in the work to set myself up for this situation, but at the end of the day, it's kind of out of my hands.
Yeah. And how relatable though that like everyone hates the move. Like it's just such a pain in the
Hmm.
butt. Like packing all your stuff up, getting in the truck,
Yep.
going through that
Never
whole
fun.
process. Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from there.
It was a
Um,
lot easier to move recently from my old house to the house that I just purchased, but
oh, good.
because that was a 30-minute drive, you know what I mean? It's not a
Yeah.
cross the country kind of trip.
Right. Yeah. It gets to a certain level. My dad was in the Air Force, so we moved across
Oh, I'm sure.
the Atlantic a couple times, and those were always
Yeah.
fun. So I'm curious, still on the topic of football, what's like something about offensive line play that most fans completely miss, but it's something that you obsess over?
Mm, this is going to be a little bit of a odd answer, I guess, but it's like the communication part of it. So there's
Oh.
just 5 offensive linemen out there.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
feel like there's nothing better than when like defenses have like maybe an exotic look or they're trying to mess with us with our points and protections and whatnot. But I feel like there's nothing better than when like all 5 communicate, you're on the same page, and then you execute that play. Like people don't really hear how much like we're really communicating and talking. And I think that's very interesting with O-line play.
Yeah, that is interesting. I don't think sometimes you hear the
Yeah,
quarterbacks
calling.
barking
Yeah.
things out and trying to point at things, but like there's also that next level of each unit kind of making their own calls to each other. So that is something interesting for us to think about. Appreciate you sharing that.
It's really a game inside the game because
Yeah.
I mean, if you're an O lineman, you don't really think about like the bigger picture of like, with the skill players, the routes they're running, all that. It's
Right.
just like my five boys versus your 4 or 5 guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm sure when you guys are communicating well, like you can directly see the results.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and you just build so much confidence. Like like,
Yeah.
no matter what they try to bring, like somebody's gonna at least call it out, and you can be alert to it.
Yeah. So we know lots of people have rituals. Wondering if you have any pregame rituals or if there are any teammates of yours that have any pregame rituals, maybe some strange ones, odd ones. Like how do you view that?
No, I don't know if I have any pregame rituals. I have a routine that I always do. Like I always work with the same strength coach that helps stretch me out. I work with a different strength coach that helps warm me up on the field before like the actual team warm-ups. And
Mm-hmm.
then I listen to like the same type of music, like the same
What kind of
like
music is that?
it's a very like I'm a big 50 Cent guy, but
Okay.
but like before we walk to the tunnel, I
Uh-huh.
like to listen to Superstar by Lupe Fiasco, and I like to listen to the song right before I go out is Diamonds by Rihanna, which is
Oh, yeah,
kind of
that's such a
crazy.
good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I actually know someone else who's an athlete, not at your level, but like that is obsessed with that song before they compete. So
Interesting.
that's funny.
Maybe there's something.
Yeah, there's something to it.
Yeah.
How'd you
I
come up with
think
that one?
I think obviously like the 50 Cent music like gets me like really going,
Yeah.
but like I feel like I play my best when I'm kind of calm through it. Like in the
Okay.
beginning, like kind of calm. Um, but I'm pretty sure like Superstar, like I like watching boxing and UFC.
Oh, yeah.
And like Sugar Sean comes out to Superstar, Dustin Poirier came out to Diamond. So that's kind of where it like first kind of hit me.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to pivot a little bit and talk a little bit about growing up. When you were in college, you were studying communication sciences. You're working on, I think, a master's at Virginia Tech. So if you weren't in football, where do you think you would have gotten to with the track that you were on?
Like if I didn't play football in college, or you're saying
Well,
if I didn't play football in the NFL?
Well, yeah, I think in the NFL is mostly what I was thinking about, but I'm curious, like with you're maybe could be a counselor, maybe coaching or broadcasting or like those kind of things based on what you were studying and working on at that time in your life.
Yeah, I think for me, even when I'm done playing now, like I would love to be a coach one day. But sometimes when I think about it, like the coaching lifestyle is pretty hard because it's just like a player, even kind of worse,
Totally.
You're not really with your family as much.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I'd want to do that. I guess we'll see when that time comes. But I've also thought about, being maybe like an O-line trainer that has like a little more like work-life balance. But I also was talking to Abby about literally like last week, like I was like, what if I do get into broadcasting? Like, what if I go work for like ACC Network or something like that? Like, I think that would be a pretty cool job. So those are probably the options. But if I didn't play football in college, I have no idea what I would be doing right now.
I think you would be great at any of those that you suggested. Gosh, if I had to give you a job based on this 10-minute conversation so far, I think you would make a excellent. I think you could do brain surgery. I think so. Right now, I think
Brain
you could do it.
surgery?
Yeah,
I don't know about that one.
I think so. I feel it. I feel it for you. There's a certain confidence and intensity that brain surgeons need that I think that you could bring to it. So we'll just put a pin in that. Maybe we'll talk about that after.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're always curious about like the city that and kind of the home and places that our guests have grown up. You talked about lifting weights with your dad in the basement back in Statesville. So if we like dropped in on that scene, what's one thing that we would be surprised to see in that training setup?
Well, you'd probably be surprised to see how much stuff my family's collected in the basement over the years.
Okay.
But no, I mean, you would just see like just like the grittiest weight room you could think of, just in a basement, and just like you would just see a mother and a father like just absolutely pushing their son to the brink, like for real. Um,
Yeah.
we used to go down there and turn the heaters on. We put like heaters on each corner, and it would get grimy in there for sure. But I think that's what kind of made me fall in love with just like the grind of football. You know what I mean? It's just like when you do it with your parents, it's like, I don't know, it's just like a different bond and connection you build with them, you know?
Yeah. In intense turning up the heat. I mean, you're already working out.
So I'm curious, is that like, are they're pushing you, or I feel like there's got to be, obviously, if you've made it this far, there's got to be a lot of your own internal drive too.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no, I'm for sure. My dad always told me like if you want to be successful from a little kid, he was like, you got to be self-motivated. So
yeah.
it definitely like when you first are learning how to like actually work out and work hard, like they were pushing me, but then I just kind of fell in love and got obsessed with it. And that's where that like internal drive comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of one of the stories that I love that you've talked about before is when your mom told you to stop playing soft in the third grade, and that was I think you've credited it being like one of your early wake up calls about how you can adapt more intensity, and it really turned into this gritty style of play that you bring to the game. So I'm curious, was your mom like super involved very early on? I mean, you're already talking about how she was in the basement with you, turning up the heat and challenging you at the early, like as you were training in the basement. But is that something like even, peewees and that early that she was on the sidelines helping coach you as well?
Yeah, just being a coach's wife, she's always been around the game since as long as they've been together. So she is definitely like knowledgeable in like football terms. But yeah, she's always been involved. Like Pee Wee games, like she was in charge of like videoing the games for like
Oh,
my dad. So like she would video the games, and I would literally like watch film with him in like the third and fourth grade. So it's like pretty intense, but obviously it worked out. So I'm very thankful that both of them were involved for sure.
Yeah. And you're like a film guy now too, so you
Oh
probably
yeah,
have your mom to credit for that
exactly.
back at Pee Wee days, learning how to do that. Speaking of your mom, I understand that you transferred to Virginia Tech to be closer to her when she was recovering from brain surgery. And I feel like that says a lot about your values. So like as a pro, how do you define? I think that was a very like home centered decision. So how do you define like what it means to feel at home?
Just really being in a place that's comfortable, but also surrounded by your loved ones. Obviously, being in Texas, and I'm from North Carolina originally, and then my fiance's family's from Colorado. Like we're kind of in that middle ground, but
mm-hmm.
I think it's just always that connection. Like even though we're not there physically, it's like making the effort to, be there with them and, call them, text them, check in on them, different things like that. I really feel like it's the connection that kind of brings that sense of home.
I love that. That's great. I hear congratulations are in order too. You were already talking about your fiance. I think that's the wedding is coming up like pretty soon. Still, is that
6 days?
in
Yeah.
6 days?
Whoa.
That's really soon.
Yeah. Wait,
it-
so is that no
July 3rd.
July 3rd? Okay, fun.
right before the 4th. Are you doing fireworks and everything? Like, or are you separating the Independence Day from the wedding entirely?
Yeah, so my birthday's actually the 2nd. So we're doing
Oh
like a little
wow!
night before dinner, birthday kind of celebration. Then got the wedding. We'll kind of end the wedding with a little bit of like some 4th of July themed stuff. And then we still got to figure out what we're going to do on the 4th of July. But yeah, I would
Well,
love to see some fireworks.
that's a pretty big week
Yeah,
leading
yeah.
up to the wedding.
I think it's totally okay to have a little break if you need that afterwards. A lot of people do after a wedding. So, okay, that's crazy. You just moved into a new place too. So I'm just curious, what has it been like kind of building this next chapter off the field? All these things that are happening to you in this offseason going into into playing in a new season, but just this life that you're building. It feels like a lot is happening right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. Obviously, like we're about to get married, but like when we just purchased like our first home, like, and then we started to like actually like build that, get the furniture in, get everything moved in, and kind of start to get settled like that. I feel like it's just been one of our like biggest kind of accomplishments. You know what I mean? It's just like we can kind of settle down here no matter what happens in my career. Like we'll eventually keep coming back here in off seasons and whatnot. But it's just like it's kind of been crazy to think about it. Like, like you buy your first home, and we're very thankful. Like we got a nice pool that we enjoy and grills, and we can grill out and have people over and host. And it's kind of been the first time that we've been in Dallas that we can actually like host a bunch of people over and have a good time swimming, grilling out, just different things like that. So um it's been a big accomplishment, honestly. I'm super proud of it personally. But yeah.
Well, you should be. There's there's a lot of work that goes into building a home life that you can be proud
100%.
of, and it sounds like you're putting in a ton of work, especially this year, making that happen.
Yeah. So we saw you're working on the dining room, the office. Like, how's that gone? Is it functional? Are you going by looks, or is it a mixture of both? Like, how's that process going?
I would say it's a little bit of both. When we went to NFM when we were working with Geo, we kind of had pictures of what our house looked like, and we were just kind of color coordinating it from there. But there were also like certain things that we liked, like with our breakfast table area. Like I love the little spin circle in the middle where you can like put
Yeah, the
napkins and
lazy
like season
Susan.
food
Yeah.
and spin it. Yeah. So like that was like a big thing for me. So like maybe the color didn't necessarily like match as close to some of the other things, but like we love that feature. You know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
been kind of a mix of everything, but we've tried to keep it pretty balanced.
Fun.
Well, that's interesting. Do you see like any crossover between like how you approach football and how you approach building this home life? You know,
Details.
you review. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Interesting details. Talk about that.
Just kind of like I said, with the little features, different things that we like, and then just like making sure everything's like place centered, and
Okay.
making sure when we're moving stuff, we're not breaking holes in the walls, different things
Yeah.
like that. So it's just the small details of, setting up your house has been fun for real.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm excited to see like final pictures and things once you start getting some of these things in. But I know that we're getting close to the end of our time. I have a quick game that I'd like to play with you, if that's okay, if you have the time to do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. So you've got this reputation of being like a nasty guy in the field with your attention, your intensity in play, but off the field, I've heard that you've got, this humorous side. I've seen some of your TikToks. You're calling your buddies, wishing them good night, going into that trend, which is
that's
really
so
fun.
Funny. I love that one.
And rumors that you might have like a softer side too, So we're gonna play a little game called Soft Side Showdown. So I'm going to throw two options at you. One is like a tough guy move, and one is like a soft life guilty pleasure. So you tell us which one you're going with, and if you feel like explaining yourself, even better. Sound good? Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I promise these are going to be fun. I've got some good. I think they're going to be difficult choices. Maybe we'll just determine that you're all tough guy. But I think there's a couple guilty pleasures here that should be fun too. Okay, so the first one that I have for you is cold plunge after practice or a warm bubble bath with essential oils.
Warm bubble bath with essential oils.
Yeah.
The cold plunge is like a special kind of torture.
Yeah, for sure. I like to like I'm a big candle guy too. So I like to light the candles, turn the lights off, just sit in the tub. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, a good scent just helps. I think there's a lot to that.
Relaxation.
Just helping. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like good self-care.
Exactly. Okay. All right. We're off to a good start. All you can eat steakhouse with the O-line or charcuterie board night with your fiance.
All you can eat steakhouse with my fiance. No, I always got to choose her over the boys, but yeah, nah, both are great options.
Both are great. Okay. All right. I hope these are impossible choices. That was my goal.
Yeah, right.
We'll see how far we can get. Okay, I just have a couple more. Pancaking a linebacker in prime time or breakfast brunch pancakes in bed?
Pancaking a linebacker in prime time. For sure.
Okay.
No better feeling than football. This goes with your theme. Okay. Post-game press conference after a dominant win or a post-game nap under a weighted blanket next to a sleepy dog?
A post-game nap for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like an early game, you get done like 3 or 4 o'clock, take a nap
Yeah.
till like 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those feel good for sure, especially if you win.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. A little softer, but it's fun, right? It's good for you. Okay. Last one that I have. Scoring a Super Bowl ring as a starting lineman or VIP seats to a Taylor Swift concert, and she pulls you onto the stage so that you can sing along with You Belong With Me. I know that you're a Swiftie. I saw a video, so I feel like maybe this is on par, but let's check.
It's a tough decision, but I'm gonna have to go with the Super Bowl. But it is very tempting. You know what I mean? Like Taylor Swift does some numbers with her concerts. So,
Right.
But I'd still have to say a Super Bowl. Yeah.
All right. That goes with your football theme. Well, Brock, thank you so much for playing. Thanks so much for this interview. I also want to thank my co-hosts, Becca, our producers, Ann and Scott, and all our listeners. Hit us up on nfm.com/podcast for all of your home life questions and a chance that we'll talk about them on the show. Until next time, here's to making your home life your best life, one story at a time. Thanks so much, Brock.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today for I Am Home with Tyler Weisskopf, Hillary Waltemath, and Becca Sudbeck. No one knows home quite like NFM. So if you'd like more information on home design at NFM, please check out nfm.com and leave us a review on the podcast platform of your choice.